Assalamu alaikum. My name is Azmat Khan, and my partner in this project will be Mustafa Usman. And the company we chose for our the industry or project analysis is an international airline industry known as the Emirates Airline. So Emirates Airline is a major international airline which is based in Dubai, and it is owned by the government of Dubai. It was founded in 1985 and has since become one of the world largest airlines with with a fleet of 260 aircraft and covers all 80 countries worldwide. Emirates is known for its luxurious amenities and its high quality service, including in-flight entertainment, gourmet meals, and a range of seating options from economy class to the first class. The airline had made the name for itself as a leader in innovation with a fleet that includes some of the most fuel efficient aircrafts of the world. In order, as you know, the Emirates Airline is solely focused on the customer service, and in addition to its passenger services, Emirates also operates in a cargo division and has a strong presence around the global air freight market. The airline is owned, as I said, owned by the government of Dubai, and it is one of the three major airlines of the United Arab Emirates, including the Qatar and Etihad Airways. So after our research and to for accurate numbers, the number of employees of the Emirates Airline are around 92,000. The accurate number of aircrafts are 265. The number of destinations that they cover is the 158. It changes over time to the political condition of different or various nations, and the revenue, operating income, and profit uh, is calculated per year of the Emirates group. So the Emirates airline has the revenue of 31.3 billion US dollar, and the operating income is 2.2 billion dollars. And if we look at the profit of the Emirates airline, it is 1.2 billion dollar per year, and it is the Fortune 500. It is in the Fortune 500 companies, in which ranks in the 461 out of 500, and the passenger capacity which the airline covers is almost 90 lakhs, and the cargo capacity is 2.86 million tons. Now the following slides will cover the what is the Emirates group and the pastel and the portal analysis, which will be covered by the Usman.
So let's now talk about what is Emirates Group. Now, keep in mind that Emirates Airline is one of the many companies which fall under the bigger umbrella of Emirates Group. So Emirates Group is basically the father of all of these companies, and it's owned by Dubai Corporation of Companies. So basically, it's owned by the government itself, and the airline company itself contributed to most of the Dubai's economy, and there are many other companies related to Emirates. Emirates is their airline company, and then they have Donata, which basically covers all the logistic aspects required to traveling through planes, all the logistics, the handling at the ground handling and the cargo handling. It covers all of that. Then they have a company called Marhaba, which basically offer meet and greet services at various airports wherever Emirates land. And we have Emirates Sky Cargo, which basically covers freight services and is the one of the biggest air freight services in globally. Now moving on to vision statement. So what is a vision statement? Vision statement is this idealistic piece of statement which basically portrays how the company or how the institution views itself in near future. So what Emirates states is to maintain international recognition as one of the leading aviation and security services businesses in the world and set a benchmark with the industry. So what this means is basically that Emirates Airline wants to lead the aviation industry. That's pretty clear. And how they're gonna lead it is basically by catering to all of their customer needs, demands, by ensuring safety for everyone that employs at Emirates. And it's basically the vision basically states to become the world's leading international airline and to provide a safe environment, a safe traveling experience for all of them. Now, another thing that Emirates is considered one of the luxurious airlines as compared. There are other airlines which can be economy friendly, but in Emirates they pay a huge interest in having luxurious experience for their customers. So it's mostly luxury oriented company. And and in spite of that, they have excellent customer service, superior quality services, and innovative products. By That's how they achieve on leading the international airline. They're committed to being an industry leader in safety, operational excellence, and environmental sustainability. Now we go over to mission statement. Mission statement basically states all those goals and objectives that the company is going to achieve by the end of a specific period, or that it goes hand in hand with vision statement. Vision statement basically portrays what the company aspires to be, and mission statement basically states goals and objectives that the company must undertake in order to be the company they aspire to be. And Emirates state that to commit to safeguarding all customers, staff, and assets against unlawful interference through continuous reviews, training, and education. Implement internationally established industry standards and practices to ensure a safe and secure environment while facilitating business growth. So we can say that their idea from their vision statement carries into their vision statement that they still want to lead the airline industry, and it aspires to become the industry standard. It's going to be a huge recognition if the manage to do that, because keep in mind there are other big competitors out there, and they're committed to it by exceeding expectations of their customers in regard of security, dependability, comfort, and service. This is where we see their luxury intent coming in, and they're committed to being an industry leader in safety, operational excellence, and environmental sustainability. Now to cover pestle analysis. Remember when Azmat also said, and I also discussed, that Emirates group of companies is basically owned by Dubai government. So that poses a political, we can say, a tension in terms of the infrastructure of the entire company. So the pestle analysis is this framework that we use, which basically provides us how a company or how to take strategic decisions in a certain situation. So pestle analysis is a tool used to evaluate potential impact of external factors on a business. So there can be many factors, from political to technological. We are just going to run down to the political factors which Emirates deals with on a daily basis. Well, the first is internal and external political instability. As we mentioned before, that Emirates hugely operates from Middle East, and its origin is in Middle East. So having a political stability in Middle East is the key importance for Emirates to keep continuous operation. And consequently, if there's a country where Emirates reach, or it provides its services to that country, it's also of key importance that that country is in perfect political stability, that their passengers, their customers are not in any kind of a dangerous or any kind of a risk-taking environment where it could provide any means to harm to them. The next is, as we mentioned, that Dubai's investment corporation owns the Emirates Group. So any kind of a political change in that corporation is going to highlight in the Emirates Group itself, because it's owned by the corporation itself. So if corporate decides that they have to tone down their luxurious component in their airlines, then the Emirates Group would be required to do that. But that's just a hypothetical scenario. And another political scenario that Emirates Group deals with it's to have transparent governance. As you can see, the Emirates and the group of Emirates is not really transparent. There are many cases of corruption, and to have a case-free, to have a lack of transparency plague the Emirates airline. So in order to perform at their full capacity, they have to have a transparent governance. Now, moving on to economical aspects which might affect Emirates airline. The first that comes in mind, that Emirates is a multinational company. It deals with many currencies. So having a rapid exchange rate shift or a global macroeconomic upheaval could affect the income. So making sure that there isn't any global uprise of any macroeconomic upheaval would cause or would make the company suffer. And economical causes is that they should always pick countries with efficient financial markets to readily amass financial and human capital, that they should invest in such countries which are able to provide with such industries, which are able to provide with such skilled laborers and have a stable financial economic condition. The third economic reason for Emirates to consider would be inflation lowers consumer spending. So if they're targeting a country which is in debt, which is like Pakistan, which is in like which has a higher rate of inflation, they wouldn't consider it because inflation in turn lowers consumer spending. So there won't be many as much buyers, as much potential customers as before the inflation hit us. Moving on to the social aspects, Emirates Airline could benefit from high population growth and expanding youth population, as it can be pretty general. More people means more travelers, and youth is basically targeted because youth is mostly the ones that are trying to go out or trying to go for traveling or going just experiencing the world. So they have to target such nations with high population growth and expanding youth population, and they should research on host nations migration policies. There are many Middle Eastern countries from which there's a huge influx of migration, so they should focus on such countries and should research on host nation migration policy. Do they have a higher migration rate, or do they not have a higher migration rate? Going on to the third aspect, sales increase due to tourism growth, and the recent example we can see is Qatar. Qatar held FIFA World Cup, and there was a snapshot which depicted the amount of airflow incoming into Qatar, and it was in like hundreds of aircrafts were coming into Qatar each day. So that also might pay off in change. Now, coming on to technological analysis, keep in mind that it's an airline industry, so the R&D department is always kept in loop, is always kept running. So they have to select countries with a solid technological infrastructure so they can support their entire chain of processes, from the customer getting into the plane, from the plane flying, and consequently landing, and all of that stuff involved. Also, Emirates Airline can improve customer satisfaction, operational efficiency, and brand image by investing into proper technology. And they did. Emirates have been known for investing and innovating and designing new products that might help their transportation, that might help their traveling much better. Legal challenges might be that they can preserve its competitive advantage by strictly complying with intellectual property rules, which basically means that Emirates is known for having patents. Many of its patents, they do this to preserve its competitive advantage. And the second point, which airline industry should be careful, is specific countries have specific employer laws. So you need to keep in mind with those employer laws. Moving on to environmental challenges, as the world has reached a new age, so there are new environmental challenges. There are governments which provide appealing renewable energy subsidies, which basically means that they lower your tax if they see that you're using greener renewable energy sources. And keep in mind that, as Azmat has recently stated, that Emirates has Emirates has a comparatively newer age of fleets. सही है, their planes are not really that old. इतने पुराने जहाज नहीं होते हैं. जो पुराने जहाज होते हैं, मसला ये होता है कि वो fuel बहुत खाते हैं, and they are not really effective in that sense. And on our research, we found out that the maximum oldest plane that Emirates has is at least 6 years old, nothing more than that. Now, moving on to Porter analysis. What are Porter analysis? So basically, the Porter 5 forces is a model which can be used to analyze the competitive forces in an industry. For example, in industry mein, there can be many competitive forces. There can be threat of new entrants. There can be threat of substitute products. There can be issues regarding buying power of the consumer. There can be issues to the logistic issues of the suppliers. So Porter 5 forces is basically used to analyze all these threats that a company might face when they enter the business, and they need to be analyzed with detail. They need to be analyzed with care, because they might influence how the company operates or how the company is going to operate in future. So in case of Emirates, the airline industry, in case of Emirates, if we discuss the threat of new entrants, we know that airline industry is not really that easy to enter. It cost a lot for those planes. It cost a lot to keep those planes in operational condition. It cost a lot to have that staff, to have that capacity to basically run an airline industry, and including the high cost of purchasing and maintaining a fleet of aircraft, obtaining the licenses, obtaining the approvals, and establishing a customer base can be really tricky, can be really expensive. So we can easily say that there are hardly, we can really say there are hardly no threat of new entrants in the airline industry that Emirates might face. Now, coming over to the buying power of customers. So we have discussed before that Emirates is it's a luxurious airline industry. They do have economy classes, but their economy classes are always a charge a higher than their other competitors out there. And the reason they do that is because they take pride, they take arrogance in their luxury that they're providing, the traveling experience. And it can be quite stated because they are trying to be the industry leader. So it can be pretty evident why are they doing that. But in turn, having a higher rate for your tickets make people go for other options, other suitable options for there. So it's really not in the hand of the customers to bargain the powers. It's the Emirates which set the power. So it can be that. Coming on to the power of suppliers, the bargaining power of suppliers in the industry is moderate. It is high, it is strong, as airlines have a range of supplies and may be able to switch between them. It's cost to have a plane, especially the Emirates uses Boeings and Airbuses, so they are expensive aircraft, and to maintaining them is expensive. So you need to have good ties with the supplier. However, the high cost of aircraft and other key inputs can limit the bargaining power of airlines. Now, coming to threat of substitute products. Uh, uh, well, it's an airline industry, so the threat of substitute products in domestic travel, that can be through trains, it can be through coaches, and technically it would be far cheaper than Emirates airline. But if we consider air travel, in case of air travel, as I mentioned before, there are other companies having rates much lower than Emirates. So which basically states that there are substitute products available, substitute services available. And intensity of the competitive rivalry, well, basically stated that there are other companies which are operating in Middle East and in the Gulf. There is Qatar Airways, there are Lufthansa, there are other airways, and the major airlines which which Emirates is competing with on a global scale is American Airlines, Delta Airlines. These are all American airlines, and a Middle Eastern company is competing with them. So yes, it has a strong competitive rivalry that covers the porter analysis, the pestle analysis of Emirates Airline. Moving on to competitive advantage that the Emirates might have, I would like Azmat to explain the competitive advantage.
So thank you, Usman, for covering the analysis of the Emirates airline quite thoroughly. So first of all, you need the comparative advantage is an edge for every company or every institution in order to compete in the market. And there are several comparative advantage or edge, you might say, for the Emirates airline. And the first of all is the high investment in fleet. So the Emirates airline basically spend a lot of money on the aircrafts. So they spend a lot of money on the aircrafts because for better, they invest in a better technology which consumes much less fuel as compared to the older models. So the average age of the Emirates fleet, the one Emirates fleet, is around 6.25 years, which is I can say which is quite impressive if we look at the other airlines, or if we look at our own Pakistan Airlines, Pakistan International Airlines. And this is a quite impressive figure, and it serves as a competitive advantage for the Emirates. Then the second option is the luxury services. As you all know that the higher class people spend more money on the travel, and the Emirates airline offers those services in order to accommodate the richer class of the society. So Emirates offer world-class services both off and on-board flight services to give its clients a complete travel experience. For example, जैसे अगर आप एयरपोर्ट में जाए तो वहाँ पे उन लोग के वीआईपी लॉन्जेस होते हैं, वहाँ पे इन लोग की मतलब अपनी जो नई नई गाड़ियाँ BMW मर्सिडीज टाइप की, अगर आप वहाँ पे जाएं उनकी बुकिंग करें तो आपको ये सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड की जाती है, जो कि हायर क्लास सोसाइटी उससे बहुत ज़्यादा बेनिफिट होती है, और उसमें ये लोग बहुत ज़्यादा पैसा लगाते हैं, जो आई थिंक मार्केट में जो भी एयरलाइंस है वो इतना इन्वेस्ट नहीं करते एज कम्पेयर टू द एमिरेट्स एयरलाइन. The third and the most important point is the diversity of the flight attendants. So the Emirates airline basically hires the flight attendants from all around the world. No? They are not a bias that only the people of the UAE might be in the airline. So on there is a proper training for people when they hire around the world, और उनकी ट्रेनिंग की जाती है प्रॉपर, और उनको ट्रेन किया जाता है, और उसके बाद उनको डिफरेंट लैंग्वेजेस सिखाए जाते हैं. जैसे एमिरेट्स एरोस्टेस के जो मोस्टली जो इन लोग के लैंग्वेजेस होते हैं वो 10 डिफरेंट लैंग्वेजेस स्पीक, दे स्पीक 10 डिफरेंट लैंग्वेजेस, क्योंकि वो एज यू नो के different people travel around the world and with different languages. So in order to accommodate passengers, the flight attendants speak around 10 languages, which is not common in other airlines. So this also serves as the competitive advantage for the Emirates Airlines. Next slide. So the last slide, which will be focus on the future industry leadership, that how does the Emirates airline thinks, or what are the future plans for the Emirates Airlines, or what are they proposing for the new services. So first of all, this is the Emirates Airline Cargo. So Emirates सिर्फ ये काम नहीं करता है कि आप आके जैसे फ्लाइट में उनके सिर्फ पैसेंजर में. एमिरेट्स प्रोवाइड कार्गो सर्विसेज. उनकी कार्गो जो मैंने पहले ही बताया कि अराउंड 2 मिलियन टन उनके पास कार्गो सर्विस होती है. तो जो एयरलाइंस कार्गो सर्विस अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते हैं, वो भी एमिरेट्स के पास प्राइवेटली उन लोग के पास कार्गो की उनकी डील कर सकते हैं, और एमिरेट्स उनका शिपमेंट जो है एक पॉइंट से दूसरे पॉइंट तक पहुंचा सकता है. द सेकंड इज द एमिरेट एयरलाइन लॉजिस्टिक्स. सो द एमिरेट एयरलाइन लॉजिस्टिक्स बेसिकली फोकसेस ऑन द सप्लाई चेन. कि अगर कोई हायर करे कि मतलब अगर एमिरेट्स को हायर करे कि टेक माय पैकेज फ्रॉम ह्यूस्टन टू दुबई, सो उसमें से फिर वेयर हाउस में इनकी जो पैकेजिंग होनी चाहिए, उनकी ट्रांसपोर्टेशन और उनकी जो कस्टम क्लियरेंस, जो कि एक बहुत is a big problem, also big hurdle for many companies, and Emirates take care of it. And third is the Emirates Airline Maintenance and Engineering. So Emirates Airline के पास अपने spare parts होते हैं, अपने engineers होते हैं, and other small scale airlines कैन मतलब उसको जो एमिरेट्स कंपनी को अकोमोडेट कर सकते हैं कि अगर आपके पास स्पेयर पार्ट्स या इंजीनियर्स की जरूरत होती है, तो एमिरेट्स एयरलाइन सपोर्ट देम एंड ऑफर्स spare parts or the maintenance cost for the other airlines. So this is all for our presentation. We covered the Emirates airline, the poster and the pested analysis, and we moved toward the comparative advantage and the future leadership opportunities Emirates has given for the other airlines. So this is for all of us. So thank you. बंद कर देना. बहुत लंबी नहीं होगी.